Well, greetings everyone. As a parish, our commitment to create a safe environment for children and young people is very vital. This commitment began in 2012 with the establishment of a compliance committee who supported our parish volunteers to obtain appropriate checks, namely police checks or working with children check. And then in 2016, this committee evolved and changed its name to become Professional Standard Committee to reflect the expectations required by the Code of Conduct for Caring for Children called May Our Children Flourish. After the findings of the Royal Commission into Institutional Abuse in 2017, it was obvious to us that there was more to be done to create a safe and inclusive environment, one that enables our children and young people to be heard, believed, and fully aware of their right to be safe and to be educated what this is about. So our formal commitment to child safety began 9 years ago. And today we officially relaunch this commitment. So as part of our relaunch of the commitment, I will now sign a statement of commitment on behalf of the parish. So chaired by Mahoney, the other members of the committee are Rosa Rebula, Tricia McKay, Fran Findlay, who represents different parts of the parish, and Rodney, who is part of our parish administration team. This group of people makes up a new safeguarding committee, and I'm pleased to introduce them to you.
It is a priority of our parish to ensure all parishioners are fully aware of what child safety means within our parish, as well as encouraging everyone to embed child safety practices in their everyday interactions. When supporting the mission of our parish, the safety of our children and vulnerable people is everyone's responsibility, and it is a role we take seriously. Father Lynn was quick to respond to the Royal Commission's recommendations, and the parish's Professional Standards Committee was established. Its role was to set up policies and procedures to ensure the safety of children and young people in our parish. So the discussion around keeping our children safe began, as we promoted this important issue on our bulletin boards, newsletters, presentations during Mass, and our formal child safety awareness training evenings. Many aspects of our gatherings have changed and will continue to change to ensure that we are meeting our responsibilities in this important area.
The Archdiocese, in the past 12 months or so, has created new guidelines for parishes to create policies and procedures around safeguarding children and vulnerable people. The policies and procedures we are currently implementing are not simply to tick a box. They are working documents that reflect our parish's ongoing commitment to the safety of all our children and young people. One change we have made has been to our committee title, which has changed from Professional Standard Committee to Nazareth Parish Safeguarding Committee. This is in keeping not only with the Archdiocese guideline, but is a title that clearly reflects what we are about, the safety of our children, young people, and those who are vulnerable. Our aim is for our community to be fully aware of all safeguarding issues through open and honest discussion. We want everyone to understand that safeguarding is something that should be part of everything that we do, and not just as an issue that results in uncomfortable conversations.
So will we feel a difference then, do you think, ideally, in parish structure?
Absolutely. If we don't feel a difference, then the risks will be there. If I walk into a church today and there is nothing different, there is no sign that this is a safe church, there's no indication of what the policies and procedures are, there's no indication of how a priest or the clergy are meant to act in relation to, say, altar boys and altar girls, if there's nobody that I can easily take a complaint to, if there's no literature there, if there's no communication and a conversation that naturally takes place, if the children themselves aren't provided with any education about these issues, then that will be an unsafe and unhealthy parish. It will be an unsafe and unhealthy church. But if I walk into a parish and I recognise that, yep, they actually do embrace these things. There is an open conversation. I can readily find out what the policies are. The safeguards are readily available to the church-going people. Then we'll start to say, yeah, this is a church, this is a parish that absolutely gets this.
So do you mean, for instance, like just getting down to tin tacks, on your bulletin, there'd be an item on your bulletin about whom you could direct a complaint to?
Absolutely. In fact, one of the parishes that I was in the other day has appointed 2 safeguarding officers. In the Archdiocese of Perth, there are safeguarding officers attached to every parish. There's actually communication out there.
And they're lay people,
but the most important thing is that there's a conversation. Child sexual abuse thrives in an environment where there is secrecy. The perpetrator requires it. The children's vulnerabilities are enhanced by the secrecy of it. How do you break that down? You have a normal conversation about sex, about sexual abuse, in the same way that we talk about workplace safety nowadays, the same way we're starting to talk about bullying, the same way society is starting to talk about domestic and family violence. It's the conversation that is necessary. So in all of these churches, we'll know that things have changed when there can be an open conversation about these issues on an ongoing basis, together with the practical measures. If that conversation doesn't take place, then in fact nothing will change.
Nazareth Parish operates within the Safeguarding Children and Young People framework developed by the Catholic Archdiocese of Melbourne. The framework ensures that all policies, procedures and practices within parishes are consistent with the Victorian Child Safety Standards and the Reportable Conduct Scheme, the National Principles for Child Safe Organisation and the National Catholic Safeguarding Standards. This framework ensures a common approach to all safeguarding issues with a significant range of resources available through the Professional Standard Unit of the Archdiocese. The unit is the primary Archdiocese agency for responding to all reportable incidences and also provides advice and assistance to parishes on all safeguarding issues. One of the ways in which the Professional Standard Units helps parishes meet their obligations under the framework is through the monitoring of safeguarding activities, with an assessment report submitted to the unit each year by the parish.
During 2020, in response to the safeguarding framework, the Nazareth Parish Safeguarding Committee has undertaken the first annual assessment of the existing safeguarding policies and procedures in the parish. This has helped us to identify where we are meeting the appropriate standards and also where further work needs to be done. We were very pleased to be able to identify significant areas where the parish had met the required standards, especially in the areas of working with children checks and record keeping, and undertaking appropriate risk assessments leading to the setting up of a safe online environment that was successfully used to allow a number of parish activities to continue during the COVID restrictions.
A critical new area identified in the framework is ensuring that all parish volunteers not only have a working with children check, but that they also understand the responsibilities and obligations involved in safeguarding. Safeguarding is everyone's responsibility. The safeguarding framework now requires that all volunteers receive information about safeguarding, especially the nature of child abuse and the parish code of conduct each year. Our volunteers will be required to sign the parish code of conduct, acknowledging our parish's commitment to safeguarding our children and young people. This process will begin in coming weeks. In addition, around Child Safety Sunday each year, Nazareth Parish will take the opportunity to renew our awareness and commitment to child safety. These requirements are not only for parishes, but are part of the child safe standards that all organisations are expected to meet.
When you next come to one of our churches, you will see new safeguarding information posters displayed. The Safeguarding Committee will be working with parish groups to ensure all volunteers have a Working with Children's check. All volunteers will be invited to participate in one of a number of information sessions on safeguarding. These sessions will be provided at varying times and places, and it is an archdiocesan requirement that attendance is mandatory for all volunteers. It is anticipated that these information sessions will become available in the second half of this year. The Safeguarding Committee will also be continuing to implement policies and procedures in those areas that were identified in the assessment undertaken in 2020 as needing further work.
We are always open to new ideas and on how we could do better, and encourage anyone with suggestions to contact one of the members of our committee, the safeguarding team, either directly or through the parish office. Finally, we encourage you to come forward at any time to make a report or allegation in relation to harm that you or others may have witnessed or experienced.